Bueno, hoy vamos a ver el past perfect. El past perfect, como se ve, es un tiempo pasado. It's a compound verb tense in which it includes the past, and it's a past within the past tense. So when we talk about the past, or when we use the past perfect, it's to talk about a very distant, far away from the present past. And it always is referred to an action or something that happens before something else that happened in the past. So in English, for example, I had eaten an apple before I ate lunch. But before I ate lunch, I had eaten an apple. So this I had eaten, remember that had, it's the auxiliary verb. It doesn't mean that I have an apple in my pocket. So I had eaten an apple happens before I ate lunch. Let's see the forms. The forms of haber. So haber is that we copy haber. So we change the haber, but we keep the past participle. And the past participle, remember that it's verbs that you drop the AR, ER, or IR and add ado or ido. Or the irregular verbs. Verb minus ar, minus minus ir, that you add ado or ido. These will be the regular verbs. So, yo había, that is the accent on the I, yo había, tú habías, él or ella había, usted había. Notice that I'm not pronouncing the H. Había. Nosotros o nosotras habíamos. Vosotros, that's the you all, in Spain only. Vosotros habíais. Y ellos o ellas habían. Y ustedes habían. So these are the forms of the verb haber to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. So the past participle, remember that you can say yo había and any verb that ends in ado or ido or one of the irregular verbs in the past participle. Por ejemplo, yo había, I had spoken. So yo había hablado con el profesor. And of course, because we want to express that this happens before something else, we could say antes de, before, antes de ir a la clase. O antes, vamos a poner antes de ir a clase. A la clase. Antes de ir a clase, before going to class. So, antes de can be ir a clase or antes de comer. Notice that after, antes de, you're going to have to use an infinitive. Comer, ir, bailar. I had spoken with a professor before dancing. weird sentence. Tú habías comido. Tú habías comido antes de volver a casa. So you had eaten before returning home. In English, you remember that you say before returning, ing. So it's not that you're actually returning to a place, currently doing that. So in English, you're also using a form of the verb, while in the present participle, instead of using the infinitive. And in Spanish, we always use the er, ir, ar ending verbs. So, volver a casa. Usted había vuelto. You had returned. Usted había vuelto a la universidad. So you had returned to the university después del accidente. So in this case, you're expressing that you, formal, the you formal, so you talk to someone, maybe to a professor, you had returned, because this is the past participle of volver, okay? So, but it's regular. So usted había vuelto a la universidad, to the university, después, after the accident. So what happened first here? What action happened first? Because we are saying that someone returns, right? That's the word to return. And then we have an accident that happens. So what happens first? So first, the accident happens, and then the person returned to the university. Of course, that happened a long time ago because we're not saying when that happened anyways. But here what's important is the fact that that person had returned to the university after the accident. So notice how we can use después after something, después de, and of course después de it's followed by a noun, so there's no er, ir verbs, but you can say después de comer. So when it's followed by a noun, después de or antes de, but if it's an action, remember that it has to be in the infinitive. Nosotros habíamos comido, y bebido mucho. So this would be a simple sentence with we had eaten and drunk a lot. So no secrets on this one. Now what happens when we have, again, two verbs? For example, the verb to need to do something, or like you should do something. Like I should have done, or he had. Well, actually, ellos habían debido. So when you want to express that you want someone should have done something, so ellos habían debido, habían visto, the la, okay, refers to película. So this a little bit in general. I'm going to give you a couple more examples from above. So with this double verb situation in which the second verb will stay in the infinitive. Por ejemplo, ella había necesitado estudiar más. So, ella había necesitado estudiar más. So she had needed to study more. Another situation that we can have is like she had to have done something. So, nosotros habíamos tenido que presentar en clase. So, we had to present. Remember that tener que, it's to have to do something. So when you have the tener que present in class, the last verb in this group of three, remember these ones do not change depending on the person, only these. And for this tense, the past perfect, you only need to memorize this part and practice all these structures that you'll find in the packet. So, tener que, referring to tenido que, and then presentar, the same as estudiar or tenido que. Por ejemplo, ellos habían tenido que copiar o leer. They had to read, they had to copy 100 pages. So I hope this is easy for you. When we make the negative, where do we put the no? Here. Okay. Now for questions, this is the part that we keep too. And we'll substitute this third sentence here by a question. So the questions, ¿qué había tenido que hacer? So, in this question, ¿qué había tenido que hacer? So, it looks very complicated with había tenido que and then the other verb in the infinitive. But que, you know the meaning, what? And then past perfect, because you see the había. So whenever you see había, you know it's past perfect right away. So, ¿qué había tenido? This is the past participle, because it ends tenido que, also because you see the verb tener que. What had to do? Now, in this case, we don't know whether it's a he or a she, probably because it's referring to someone that we've already been talking about. So what had she or he had to do? Let me know if you need more examples on this. And remember to practice the pronunciation without pronouncing the H. Que había. So no sound in between. Que había. And usually what you'll hear is people put the two words together. So, que, and then había, que había. ¿Sí? Que había tenido que hacer. Send me an email or let me know if you need any further explanation. Gracias.